saved it. Well, I was trying to do this whole intro shot of like me opening the car door, getting in the car like we're going somewhere. Then the camera started falling and I'm just gonna roll with it. So last night I got an email from Righteous Guitars advertising the boutique guitar showcase. And then they show some pictures of some crazy looking guitars. Stuff I've never really seen before. My immediate thought was, I've definitely got to go to this. I have to go anyways to drop off the thin line Novo that I featured last week in a video because they bought it. So let's go check it out. Oh man, there's a bunch of people here. Somebody took my spot. That's where I park every time I come here. Good news is I decided to come here right at 5 o'clock in the middle of peak rush hour, so.
Hi, I'm Jamie Gale from the Boutique Guitar Showcase. We are currently at Righteous Guitars in Roswell, which is just north of Atlanta, Georgia. This is one of 25 stops in 9 countries over 8 weeks. It's an incredible show of unique world-class instruments to give you an idea as to what guitar makers are doing today. Most people are behind the curve because you don't see a guitar until it's already quite successful in the hands of an artist and hanging on a guitar shop's walls. But there are guitar makers who are making small quantities of guitars right now. And this is an example of sort of where that's at with all the different features. So there are 50 guitars here on the road from many legendary guitar makers and many up-and-coming guitar makers from all over the world. We did Chicago, Cincinnati, Nashville, Montgomery. We're here in Atlanta. We're on to Miami, Memphis, Dallas, Austin, Tucson, Phoenix, LA, San Francisco, before we head on over to Europe. Okay. And then in Europe we do a bunch of other dates over there, 9 countries in Europe. Go to boutiqueguitarshowcase.com. All of them are posted as events on our Facebook page, which again is just Boutique Guitar Showcase, where you can see the individual sort of events on that page with the times, dates, pictures of guitars, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, this is nuts. I've never seen guitars like this before. These are some next level stuff right here.
A rare spruce Brazilian combination.
I'm pretty interested to hear that because I never played that. At some point, play one or two of these.
Okay, that's cool. It's got, is it supposed to have 3 strings on it? Or? I mean, I guess so. It's only got 3 tuners. All right, they're gonna let me play something, right?
Of course.
Sinky. Look at that. I've never played a guitar with no headstock before. So I'm really digging this one right here. Out of everything I've seen so far, I think this is like the most of my vibe, what I really dig. Kind of like the Ceres T, although it's got a Jazzmaster pickup in the neck. But that is pretty cool.
Yeah, so this is the Teufel Birdfish, an iconic design, 22 years old now. So Uli Teufel was a traditional guitar maker who made sort of tele knockoffs for years. Went back to school for industrial designer, and studied under the famous German designer who designed the first Macintosh computer. Does a lot of work for the German car companies as well. And of course, when you finish your education, you have to prove that you learned something by making something in industrial design. So Uli returned to the guitar and said, I'm going to follow design philosophy of form follows function. With this design philosophy, you determine what something must do, no more, no less, and the form should reveal itself. So what does an electric guitar absolutely need? You need strings, because the strings are how you propagate the energy in the first place, how you get the guitar moving, that's where the music starts. You need a fretboard neck, because that's where you interact with the string. That string energy then moves down into what? A body. But the body can be all sorts of things. As you look around the room, they can be solid, they can be hollow, they can be made of metal or lucite. There's so many different materials that can happen. So the body is doing what? Well, in guitar terms, we say it's generating the tone of the instrument. Tone, of course, is not a scientific term. It's a mythical term we talk about, but we all know what it means in the guitar industry. It's the color of the sound, the way it moves. But with the Teufel Birdfish, we're going to drive that string energy down through those strings into what we call the fish here. These are carved solid aluminum. Aluminum, because it transmits energy well but doesn't color it. So we're going to use it simply as a conduit to move it to where we want to color the sound. So we're going to move it through these fish here into these tone bars. These are wooden bars that are made of alder in this case. There's also a pair, there's solid alder, but there's also a pair of maple bars in the case. And when you simply remove these two screws and take off an alder bar and put on a maple bar, it does exactly what you'd expect. The alder is warmer, a little slower in its response, larger movements. The maple goes on there, it's tighter, it's cleaner, it's a faster response. The bottom end is tighter. It proves and disproves everything we think we know about the guitar. So here we have, of course, pickups are the next part that's important on an electric guitar. With the pickups, they can be humbuckers, they can be single coils. If it's a humbucker, it can be hot wound, PF style, underwound, single coils, whether you wind them right, left, phase canceling, all those things are important. So this guitar actually comes with 5 pickups. And to interchange the pickups, which normally takes 30 minutes with a skilled tech, and a lot longer if we don't know what we're doing. These pickups, however, can be removed with a thumb screw and an 1/8" cable within seconds. That is the single coil wound left. There's a wound right for phase canceling in the in-between position. So with that, of course, also you get to choose exactly where the placement is, because that makes a huge difference in the response of the guitar. How close the pickup is to the string, where it is in relationship to the neck and such. So if this guitar you want to be a little bit warmer, we move it up. If you want to be a little less, we move it down. If you want to be on a bit of an angle because you want your highs to be warmer and your bass to be a little bit tighter, all of those things are interchangeable with this. And then when you want to lock them in, there's a little set screw in the back of it.
Now you're selling me on the concept. I like this.
Case on rolling wheels as well, and it has in the case the other bars, the other pickups, tool to interchange them. So these are the maple bars. As you see, they say maple on them, and they are very resonant. Any questions?
Can I play it?
Of course.
So currently it's loaded with 2.
you need to loosen that to do that.
Right, okay.
Just go ahead and just...
Yeah.
Now here's the part where I'm really going to blow your mind.
All right.
Because that's alder.
Yeah.
And that whoomph that you're hearing,
Right.
we're going to get rid of that right now by tightening it up by putting on a piece of maple instead of alder. First thing is always make sure the other bar is tight.
Right.
Because all the string tension exists between these bars. And you're going to feel this instantly in your playing because the response is going to tighten up so much and the resonance is going to tighten up, you know.
Right.
George Gruner and I were talking 2 days ago when we were there and talking, you know, sometimes the audience can hear the sound, but the real differences between an instrument have a lot to do with the response and how it feels in your hands.
Right.
Unfortunately, the audience can never know the difference between how one guitar feels in your hands versus the other.
Right. They can hear the difference in your playing.
You can hear how you're inspired.
Nice.
And a little finger tight at first.
All right, so we've now got the maple.
The long piece is maple, the short piece is alder.
That neck is the... Yeah, it got rid of that woofy bottom end.
That was
that
all.
muddy. Yeah, right there. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. So this is interesting. This is completely carbon fiber. It's hollow. It's all one piece of carbon. The neck is carbon as well. There's no truss rod because you don't need a truss rod when your neck is carbon fiber. Apparently this is designed and built by an architecture firm.
It's kind of weird because
It's cool. It's extremely light. I mean, I would say that's a little over 5 pounds maybe. It's hollow, so it's nice and resonant. Okay, well, as you can see, it's dark. I was there for quite a while. That was incredible. I'll link all of the information for Boutique Guitar Showcase in the description box down below. They are currently on tour right now, so if they're coming to a city near you, I highly recommend you go check it out and play some of these guitars. It's really, really cool. They're also going to be at Winter NAMM. So if you're going to be at Winter NAMM, be sure to check them out there. So don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below telling me what you thought the coolest guitar you saw on the video was. Anyways, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Rhett Shull, and remember, there is no plan B.